everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today we are having another day of Bookmas. So here is the mug for today. Isn't it cute? I could like put my face there and have that be the little thumbnail for this video. But he is adorable little chip. I had to use him today. He matches the shirt. Goes well with them, don't you think? Anyway, so I just have water to help my throat from filming all these videos. At least they're short and they're fun. Okay, so for this video, we are going to talk about something a little disappointing. So we're going to talk about all the books and all the series that I DNFed in 2023. So we are going to do the series first. I actually haven't DNFed a lot. I think I have DNFed, let's see, I think I DNFed 10 series. So overall, that is not bad at all. And I kind of just went ahead and I was like, you know, these series don't interest me anymore. I have too many series going on. So I just went and I was like, I'm not going to finish that one. I'm not going to continue that one. So I just went around and really fixed it up. So I'm just going to share with you. Most of these I DNF'd just because I wasn't interested. They were kind of just meh books to me, or they felt like a standalone. And so I was like, I'm done. I'm good. So let's just go ahead and start off. And I'll let you know if I remember why I DNF'd it. So the first one is Cat and Cat by Christoph Casanova. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a very low middle grade age graphic novel series. It was cute and it was funny, but it was very hard to read on my phone. The print was so small that you actually had to zoom in rather than double click, and I felt like just the bothersome of reading it was why I think I DNF'd that series. So it's kind of a soft DNF. I might continue on it. Don't know. The next series I DNF'd was Code of Silence by Tim Schumacher. The first book in the series, it was supposed to be about these kids who witness a crime, but I just felt like it was so much day-to-day stuff. Like that's all they talked about was the next day they went to school, then they did this, then they did that. There was no like action kind of driving the story, and so I really struggled with that series and had a hard time with the first book. Will I continue the series? I don't think so. It was a Christian fiction series, so it was clean. There really wasn't any talk about faith or anything, and there was something in it where I can't remember what it was. Something about how the kids struggled with forgiveness or something. I can't remember. It was so long ago that I can't remember. But yeah, it was just okay to me. I didn't really care to continue the series. Next one was End of the Line by Soraya Wilson. I loved the first book. My friend and I loved it so much. My friend Oshina. And she read the second book. And I saw her review on it on her video. And I was like, oh, sounds like something I would not enjoy either, because she didn't like it either. The first book was great. It was a pretty clean, it was a secular romance. It was just a clean romance. It wasn't Christian, but it was pretty clean for the most part. The kissing scenes were a little heavy, but it was okay. So the second book, my friend Oshina shared about it, and it was about two people who fell in love during college, but then they find out that their parents got married like behind their backs, and they're still kind of in love with each other even though now they're step siblings. So it felt like a very weird romance, and so it didn't really sound like something I would like either. So I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to continue the series. I think it's just a duology. And I was like, no, doesn't sound like something I would like. Okay, and then the next one that I DNF'd was Pax by Sarah Pennypacker. Wow. I read the first book. Honestly, I didn't think it was that great. I really didn't. I was honestly bored throughout most of it. And I don't know. I didn't like it. And I know a lot of people who love that book. It just wasn't for me, so I won't be continuing with the second book. Next one is I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Les Carnets de Solis by Aurélie Neret. This is a French translated book into English, and it was cute. It was a graphic novel series about a girl who was trying to be like this detective, so she had all these mysteries. So I really liked the first book, but I was just, you know, I had so many series, I didn't feel like continuing the second book. And I don't know if it's been translated or not yet. I can't remember. but it was just okay to me. I did like it, but just wasn't interested in continuing. Next one was the Enola Holmes graphic novels by Serena Blasco. Didn't like it. I read the first one. It was just kind of boring. There were some things in it that I didn't like to read about personally, so I was like, it wasn't that great to begin with. I didn't really like the artwork that much, so I was like, I'm good with DNFing it. I'm getting better at DNFing stuff that, I just find kind of meh. So I'm really happy that I'm actually getting better at that. The next one is the Psalm series by Misu Andrews, and there's a couple other authors as well. So I read 2 out of the 3 books, and I just didn't feel like checking out the 3rd book again. I got it from the library, had to return it because it was due. I was like, you know what? I read Misu Andrews. That's the one that I really wanted to read, and I was like, I don't feel like trying to get the 3rd book. So I was like, I'm good. I'm okay. That's basically my reasoning. Next one is Lilac Cottage by Carrie Fensett Pagels. I did read book 2. I didn't read book 1, which I probably should have. But I read book 2 because I was on her launch team, and it was okay to me, but again, it was more of that family drama story that I'm not a huge fan of. It was okay, but I'm just not a huge fan of family drama unless like it's done really, really, really like super well. But it was just okay to me, and as I said, I'm not really a huge fan of family dramas, but that's okay. It wasn't for me, but I know other people who I'm sure like it more than I did. All right, and then the last, oh no, I have 2 more series. Next one is Sinister Summer by Kirsten White. It was just an okay series from the beginning. I stuck with it because of the underlining mystery throughout, but it started talking about ghosts, which I was okay, but then I knew it was going to lead toward more of that dark area of it, and I was like, no, this is not going to be Scooby-Doo related. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. Okay, then I have one more series I DNF'd. Let's see. So the last series I DNF'd was called Lily the Donkey's Adventures by Cindy Tingley. Would not recommend those at all. They were upper elementary, early middle grade book series about a talking donkey, which was fine. And you've heard me talk about this series before. I'll talk about it again. So, and that was fine. And it was set during biblical times. I was good. I was fine. But then it started talking about stuff that is not even mentioned in the Bible at all. It started going off some very weird things. Like it started talking about how Jesus could talk to the animals, like at birth. And I'm like, okay, number one, he was human. Okay. Yes, he is God's son. Yes, he is God. But I mean, we don't know if he could talk to animals. But if we don't know, if it doesn't say it in the Bible, then I don't want to know something about that is like, it's pretty much telling a lie because we don't know. So I was like, I DNF'd it. I was like, no. Like, there's a couple other things too that didn't follow the timeline of the Bible. And I was like, this is not good. So I did not recommend it to my audience and told you guys why. So I would not recommend that series at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about, some of these are part of series, but I never even finished the first book. So if they're part of series, I don't know. I don't remember if they are or not. So the first one is, oh, come on. My app is going all over the place. Okay, so let's see. So the first one is Linden Falls by Joshua Hershey. I got this for a book review, to do a book review from the author. It was okay. It was about angels and demons, and I thought it was Christian fiction. I think it's supposed to be, but there was a swear word, like in like the 2nd chapter, and I was like, this is number 1. I think it was geared toward YA, and there's a swear word in it, and I was like, not for Christian fiction, no. Like, no, like, that shouldn't be. Like, Christian fiction is supposed to be without the swear words, without that. Because it's supposed to be, and I didn't like that. So I DNF'd it immediately when I saw that. If it was a secular book, well, if it was a secular book talking about angels and demons, I probably wouldn't read it. But yeah, so I was like, no, like, I don't like language of books anyways, but I'm like, especially in a Christian fiction book, like, no. Especially if like a younger teen or something is wanting to read just a plain book, like, no. There was also some very creepy things in the beginning of the book. Like, it was fantasy, but it was like creepy fantasy a little bit. So I was like, it's not for me. I'm sorry. I can't recommend it to my audience. So I DNF'd it. Next one I DNF'd was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This was just a secular romance. This was just a mainstream romance that had, I think it was quite a bit of language and some stuff that was, I believe there was love scenes in it. I can't remember, but I was like, no, we're not dealing with that. And then the next one was Unbury Carol by Josh Malerman. really was looking forward to this one, but there was some stuff that I did not agree with, so I decided to DNF that one. Next was All the Lost Places by Amanda Dykes. I just could not get into that book. I just found it very, very slow paced. Will I pick it up again? I don't know. I've read 2 of her books, I think, so far, and I just don't think she's an author for me personally, because she writes so lyrically and so beautiful. But I feel like it's more that. It's more lyrical rather than like plot driven, and so I found it too slow for my taste, but that's okay. Next was As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meisner. This was so depressing. I DNF'd it because literally the entire beginning of the book was talking about funerals and what goes to create or to make a funeral, behind the scenes, and this woman in the book was like so obsessed with death and like wanting to know all about it. I'm like, this is just so depressing. Like, I don't mind a depressing book or a sad book, but like, this is just morbid. That's what I wanted to say. So I DNF'd that one. So I was like, no, this was a buddy read too. Like, I usually try to go and finish a buddy read, but that one I was just like, sorry friend, I ain't gonna do it. Okay, the next one was How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. I think that one was just language, too much language, I think. Some of these I don't remember, but I'll try because it was in the beginning of the year. Let's see, Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. I think that was due, yeah, there was a lot of language in the beginning of the book. Next one, it was Oceans of Sand by Jessica Flory. This was a middle grade fantasy book, just a mainstream fiction book, but there was a lot to do with false gods, and I knew it wasn't a Christian fiction book, so I was like, no, we're not going to do that. The Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg. I think that was a lot of language in that one, so skip that. The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. Again, language. I don't mind like 1 or 2 here and there, but when there's a lot, it's like, no, not going to happen. The Paris Connection by Lorraine Brown. I think that one had too strong of love scenes in it, and I think some language. Next was To Get to the Other Side by Kelly Ohlert. I think that one had language in it. Yinka, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Demalola Blackburn. Was really looking forward to that one, but I think, that one was weird. That one was saying how the characters, I think they were from Africa, and they were talking about how, like, you know, they believed in Jesus, they believed in God, but then there was a lot of swearing mixed into it, and I was just like, no, like, I'm not gonna read that. So yeah, did not like it. Oh, that's it. Okay, so those are all the series and all the books I DNF'd in 2023. Honestly, not a lot. I did have a few other ones that I didn't mention, but they were more soft DNFs. Like, I would be okay to read them again or try to read them again. But yes, so those are all the ones that they're gone, and I'm not going to try again. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it'll help you decide whether or not to read these books. You know, it's okay if you do, whatever. You know, we can't decide who reads what book or whatever, and we have different tastes and stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed this fun video. I know a lot of you enjoy these videos of the stuff that we don't like, you know, and honestly, I said last year that, like, I don't like to do these videos, but honestly, I kind of do, because they are helpful. You know, you want to know what books are like why somebody didn't like this book for this reason or whatever, you know, and sometimes it's helpful. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you all in the comments. Let me know books you've DNF'd. We'll talk about them, have fun. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow for another Bookmas video.